Sustainable Futures, Shaping Our Societies and Its Potential for Sustainable, Equitable, and Inclusive Future for All. Greetings to everyone. I am Rafael Clyde M. Larida, an architecture student of the Ateneo de Davao University, and this is my thesis study entitled A Proposed Davao Arts Kindergarten Complex, a study on the effects of arts immersion in early childhood education and its response to Sustainable Development Goals. With that being said, the study focuses on hitting 3 Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. First, UNESCO's Education for Sustainable Development Roadmap emphasizes the integration of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs, in learning curriculums to shift the world's focus toward a sustainable future. There was a call for deeper research into education for sustainable development, or what we call the ESD, wherein pedagogical approaches, tools, and frameworks must be time-dependent, open-ended, and context-driven. This is where the SDG 4, or quality education, is focused. Second, we have the SDG 5, or gender equality. SDG 5 pushes efforts in ensuring that budgets, laws, and institutions promote gender equality. By introducing arts education as early as the ECE level, this contributes in allowing children to interpret their emotions and feelings. This creates an inclusive educational environment for children to express themselves freely regardless of gender differences. Lastly, the study focuses on SDG 8, which is decent work and economic growth. SDG 8 aims to attain decent employment for all men, including people with disabilities and young adults, with fair pay work for everyone. Educators from the ECE to the field of the arts are given equal opportunity in an innovative workplace and system to the goals of the study. With that said, the proposed Davao Arts Kindergarten Complex will be called Likha, which means to create. This is an avenue where children ages 4 to 6 years old can be themselves and express themselves through the arts. For the project description, the Davao Arts Kindergarten Complex is a government-owned institution that focuses on teaching the kindergarten curriculum of the Department of Education. It is situated in a 5,120 square meter lot at Trinidad Road, Maa, Davao City. The main purpose of the kindergarten complex is to innovate the predominant ECE curriculum in the country by incorporating different genres of the arts in its pedagogical approaches. It shall center on the original culture of the city of Davao to create harmony and inclusivity among the kindergarten learners within the locality. The project will be the sole kindergarten institution in Davao that recognizes the rich and diverse culture of the region and apply this to the educational experiences of the Davaoeño children as early as 4 years old. Moreover, it will be the first structure that is centered on the concept of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, wherein it transforms the ECE system towards a more inclusive future. For the site is an irregular shape that is located along Maa Road on its east, which is a major road. Its northern side is fronting Trinidad Road, western side at First Street, and the southern side of an alleyway called Brown Street. The site is currently occupied by 2 construction firms, namely Bislig Ventures Construction and Development Incorporated and Carwell Construction Incorporated. It also has an underdeveloped portion which is full of vegetation. It has a land area of 5,120 square meters or 0.51 hectares and has total perimeter of 367 meters. Upon the completion of the slope analysis, it can be observed that the site has a low inclination of the slope while having a short portion of a highly inclined slope kept in the middle of the site. With this analysis, 3 areas were determined for consideration. The lower area and upper area in the site have the most potential for development since the slopes in these areas are less inclined to relatively flat. The middle area of the site has less potential for development as the slopes in this area are highly inclined. Thus, development in this area would require extensive planning and additional processes to ensure strong development. The slope of the site was highly prioritized to create a distinct character in the overall proposal. It mimics how abstract art can be, with varying curves, sharp lines, and geometric forms. For the design concept used in the overall study, first we have cultural responsiveness. Students' voices, thoughts, and experiences are essential to the educational process and the social action approach of culturally responsive teaching and arts immersion. Certain developments in the design context have contributed to the prominence of the culture-environment linkages nowadays generally. For instance, constructed form has traditionally responded to culture effectively in vernacular and preliterate environments. Such settings efficiently and thoroughly interacted with users as opposed to the present criticism that surroundings do not engage and do not exchange knowledge. Reflecting the cultural context of Davao City in the overall design of the built learning environment and the learning curriculum, inclusivity is highly prioritized. Blurring the outdoor and indoor line. A kindergarten school's outdoor area which various elements intended to encourage organized and unorganized physical activity, play, and learning as a natural outdoor play and learning environment. The possibility for broad engagements, improvisation, discovery, exploration, risk-taking, and relationship with nature is made possible by being outside, particularly in outdoor natural learning spaces. Children move around more, sit less, and play for more extended periods while they are outside. These characteristics can also be present within the four walls of a room. Through careful and intricate planning strategies, a seamless transition between the outdoors and the indoors can be attained. We now proceed to the study's architectural translations. This is the site development plan of the study. As you can see, the site is divided into different portions through the slope present within the site. There are 5 main buildings, namely Arts Building, Admin Building 1, Admin Building 2, Cafeteria, and the Auditorium. There are also prominent spaces like the amphitheater, the community space, and the public park, and another different buildings which are the utility buildings called the water supply room, the mechanical and electrical room, and the MRF. For the site zoning, the steep terrain of the site has been taken advantage to different zones for specific purposes. The zoning is significant to the academic nature of the proposal. For the color orange, we have the public zone. This zone welcomes the general public, especially with the site being surrounded by a residential area. The zone includes a park and an amphitheater where students can perform for the community. Before the public park, we have a PUV drop-off area wherein jeepneys and other PUV vehicles utilize, being situated along Maa Road. For the second zone, we have the semi-public. This zone serves as the transition between the community and the exclusive members of the school. Buildings like the auditorium and the admin building 1 are included. Thirdly, we have the semi-private zone. The admin building 2 as well as the cafeteria encompass a zone where the general public can have a glimpse of the learning area. Lastly, the private zone, or what we call the learning zone. It is where utmost privacy and safety are prioritized, since this is where significant activities take place daily. This is where students learn and conduct their classes on a daily basis. For the longitudinal section of the site, you can see that the zoning is prominent through different levels. For the third level, we can see the semi-public zone wherein the auditorium stands tall. For the fourth level, still in the semi-public zone, we have the admin building 1. And lastly, for the private zone, the arts building is situated. For the hardscape materials and finishes within the site, there are 9 major hardscape materials used within the site. H1 is for travertine pavers, which is 2 inches thick with premium grade. H2 are rubber pavers, which are 20 by 20 inches by 1 inch rubber tiles in 4 shades. This is going to be specifically used in the outdoor play area as well as the roof deck play area. H3 uses steel guardrails. This is 0.9 meters high stainless steel railings. H4 is concrete, which is white acrylic paint finish used within the landscaping. H5 is another feature within the side called the grass ramp. This is the ramp toward the lower roof deck area, wherein it uses greenery as its flooring with concrete steps. H6 is gravel crushed stone number 411. H7 are wooden sittings, cedar wood planks. H8 are asphalt catback MC70. And lastly for H9, these are stone pavers of 15 inches by 18 inches by 1 inch stones in gray shades. Next, for the lighting fixtures used within their site, there are 3 major lighting fixtures being utilized. For the first one, we have solar street lights, wherein area lighting for parking area and vehicular passage are prioritized. Next, we have the outdoor bollard, wherein utility light placed on softscapes to provide safety for minor walkways. And lastly, we have the LED lamppost, wherein area lighting for main pedestrian pathwalks are prioritized. We now proceed to the vehicular circulation within the site. The site specifically allows a one-way access on all of its roads to prioritize security and safety of pedestrians. For the orange line, we have the public vehicular access. From Trinidad Road, public utility vehicles can enter the site and drop off passengers through the main gate of the complex. PUVs can then exit through the Brown Street. Next, we have the private vehicular access. From Trinidad Road, privately owned vehicles can enter the site and travel upwards towards the lower ground parking area. For non-staff or student-owned vehicles, a parking space is available through Brown Street entry. This is specifically going to be used for the amphitheater and the auditorium. Both access lead to an exitway at Brown Street. Lastly, for the yellow line, we have the utility vehicular access. Main utility vehicles can enter the site at Trinidad Road and exit at Brown Street. On the other hand, supplies delivery for the school can enter through Brown Street. We now have the programmatic diagram of the study. Specific spaces are designed to cater specific programs. Zoning within the site helps distinguish different activities according to the spaces placed in each. The standard zoning within the study is still going to be used. Orange for public zone, teal for semi-public zone, blue for semi-private zone, and yellow for the private zone. Within the private zone, activities focusing on creating various learning outputs through the arts are being utilized. This is the main purpose of the complex. For recreation, these activities include leisure, eating, and other physical activities that contribute to the main program. It can be seen scattered throughout the site, and it is a vital program for the complex. It can be seen in the private zone, semi-private zone, and also in the public zone. Executive-related activities are combusted within the semi-private zone, as this is where office spaces are located, like the admin buildings and the cafeteria. Perform. After creating, students are able to showcase their outputs to the community, hence the location of performing activities within the semi-public zone as well as the public zone. The main feature of the site is an amphitheater. This is located within the middle of the site, wherein high steepness takes place. The amphitheater is 17.50 meters long with a seating of 5.76 meters wide. It has 5 tiers with 2 levels specifically designed to cater the children and another 3 for adults. Here are some renders of the site. First, we have the amphitheater. Next, the main gate and the main gate entry. As you can see, a stair bench is located along the main gate entry to create a fusion between a transitional space and recreational space. Pipe-like forms coated with colors can be seen scattered throughout the site to serve as seating. This adds a peculiar and fun ambience to the study. We now proceed to the arts building. For the planning, it is divided into 3 levels. The lower ground floor plan is intended for the lower ground parking space, wherein it is purposely designed to have a lower height compared to the main area of the building, as this will be connected to the green ramp, so it would provide a swifter and softer slope for the children. Next, for the ground floor plan, it is divided within 2 wings, the west wing and the south wing. For the west wing, classroom 1, music room, and the dance studio are located. For south wing, we have classroom 2, the arts workshop room, and the library is located. As you can see, 2 interior bonsai gardens are seen as part of the design concept of the study. For the middle part, we have an indoor play area wherein the main entry is also located. A stairs within the main entry can also be seen leading towards the roof deck play area. We now have the roof deck plan. There are 2 ways to enter this part of the building. We have the green ramp, which is located on the north wing, as well as a stairs located on the main entry within the center of the building. As you can see, geometric lines and shapes are designed along with greenery to create an interactive garden can be used by the students along with a play area. This is a section of the building. As you can see, the lower ground parking provides a softer and swifter vertical transition from the ground to the lower roof deck area. An arts pavilion can also be seen on the roof deck to provide a viewing deck for the students. Here are some renders of the site. We have the outdoor play area, the main entry, a walkway, and the roof deck play area. Here are some interior renders of the building. The indoor play area, a bonsai garden, an art workshop room, and the music room. Here is an aerial perspective of the building where you can see the roof deck area and the outdoor play area within the middle, the focal point of the site. We now proceed to Admin Building 1. For Admin Building 1, a 2-story form is necessary to cater different offices for the building. For the ground level, the main lobby, wherein it faces the finance office, the admissions office, as well as the PRO office, the HR office, and maintenance office, with 2 public restrooms on both sides. Up we go to the second level, we have the more private spaces, which are the principal's office, the academics head office, and the faculty office. For its elevation, the building uses a tinted insulated curtain wall, hence the application of bespoke colored wooden louvers to protect the interiors from unwanted sunlight and extreme climate conditions. A logo of Likha is also placed as this building serves as the face of the school. Here are the renders of the building. These are the bespoke colored wooden louvers applied against the curtain wall. It is tilted in a specific angle as this is where extreme sunlight comes from. Next, we have Admin Building 2. This is where the clinic and the guidance office can be seen, along with the general public restroom. It is divided into 2 levels, which is the lower ground floor plan, which is the lower ground floor, and the upper ground floor as it serves as this building as a transition between 2 levels within the site. It can be seen within the section of the building. Here is an exterior render of the building. Cafeteria. For the cafeteria, this building serves also as a transition between a lower ground level and an upper ground level within the site. Its main area is a dining area which caters up to 50 seats for the children. An outdoor alfresco is also provided for adults and other staff members of the school. Here are some renders of the building. Lastly, we have the auditorium. For the auditorium, this is located adjacent to the amphitheater as this serves as an alternative space for performances when there is extreme climate conditions on the outside. It has a symmetrical design wherein two lobbies are located on both ends and the main auditorium on the middle. The seating area can cater up to 55 seats. The auditorium has carpeted walls as well as louvers on the ceilings to act as noise buffers necessary for this building type. Here are the renders of the auditorium. Here is an aerial perspective of the site. Likha is not a typical kindergarten school, but it's an innovative kindergarten complex wherein it focuses on sustainable development goals of the United Nations as it ascends to a more inclusive and innovative educational experience for Filipino kindergarten students within the country. I am Larida and that is Likha. Good day to everyone.